The year is 2045. In Night City, there's a bar called No Latency.
Hello. Hey, you come here to pick me up, buddy?
Yo, what's going on, Chooms? Thank you so much for supporting. Thank you for listening to the Tabletop Cyberpunk podcast. Today I have two very special guests with me, Binary Dragon and MissMagitek, to talk about memorable NPCs. Both of these Chooms have played many games of Cyberpunk Red and many other tabletop RPGs. They've been game masters, they've been players, they've been content creators, and they still are content creators. And they offered such amazing insight into the subject. So if you're looking to make some NPCs for your campaign, then look no further than this video and this conversation. If you can, please support them. And thank you all for all your support. Enjoy the show. You know, we've all been GMs and players, and we've played games, and we've made NPCs, we've interacted with NPCs, and this is like across everything, video games, I mean, whatever you can come up with, because it all applies, right? Mm-hmm. It all applies into your tabletop game. So I've been going through my like little mental, you know, while I'm in the shower thinking of stuff. And I got some NPCs, and I know you guys have plenty as well. There's many franchises that you're into. So, I mean, we could talk Final Fantasy, we could talk whatever you want. You know what I mean?
You know, the nice thing about Paris and I is that we had the opportunity to actually write official NPCs for Cyberpunk Red. Specifically, my favorite one, because this was one that kind of was just an idea that Paris and I had when we were writing for the Forlorn Hope book. Right. We threw in just some kind of extra NPCs, and I wrote a Net 54 reporter. Nice. Her name was Destiny Hondel. I was just like, okay, let's just throw somebody in here. I wanted a reporter, and I started like building her a bit, and I didn't realize they ended up getting art for her in the book. That was not something that was planned. It was just like a thing that like we later found out when we were like, they're showing us like the book. They're like, okay, here's it. I was like, oh my gosh, my character has art. So that was really cool. She basically, like, the players can go to her and she would give some info, but she's kind of also a little sleazy in her own right. She wants to be like the next Fiona Hayes, the next big thing. So she won't help unless she gets something that will kind of boost her own career, as many in Night City do. But she is almost kind of a wannabe, but you know, that gave her a little bit of charm, I feel. So that was like my little memorable NPC that I was like, okay, this is like it was really just something just like, okay, we like starting to build the world and the mission that we were building, and then she just kind of fit. So that's my little.
Yeah, I love that. The one thing I really love about that is you made a media character, which is a very underused role in Cyberpunk, but is super influential. Yeah, and it's super influential. There's so much you can do as a media, and it's cool to see that your character lives in Night City and understands the ruthlessness. And even though they're a charming, fun person, but they also know that they have to get things done to get ahead, because that's just life.
That's how it is. Like, I think a lot with like when you're building NPCs as a GM, there's always like, well, what, like, it's not just building like for your players. You know, they are either going to need something out of that NPC, very more than likely, but like, what is that NPC also getting out of them?
Yeah, I think it's always important if you're building your own NPCs, is to really think about why they're there. And the why, the answer can be like, I think it's been a bit dark. We need a silly moment. Let's have a silly character here. That's fine, but they have to be there for a purpose. Otherwise, you're just spinning wheels. Which I suppose is another, like, if you're trying to look up a rule or download a map or something, you just need a silly NPC for a bit. You can throw it at them for a moment. That could work. I loved that NPC, Tracy. Hondel. I always said Hondel because I'm British, but yes. I really liked that she was part of like essentially we wrote no combat for that area whatsoever. It is just a
social
a social role play action. And there's some other things that can happen in that room. I think it's a little cafe or something, which is cool. And the room has like this character, and I would say she's sort of a third level NPC. Like you have maybe one conversation with her, you're very unlikely to ever meet that NPC ever again. I'm sure there's some party out there that's going to drag her along with them for some adventure. But she's an NPC that you'll go, oh yeah, we remember that information. But after a few sessions, she'll just be a note on a piece of paper, and that doesn't necessarily make her a bad thing at all. But again, she's that kind of thing that pushes the story along, but not is of the story. And I think those NPCs are really tough to make because they have to still be distinctive so that the moment has stakes, like she's ruthless. And that's a really cool moment. But she has a purpose in the story. She's not the big bad, but those NPCs are the toughest to make, the sort of third level ones. They're really tough. It's a good pick, Tracy. Nice.
Yeah, no.
That was the one that came to mind, and I was just thinking about that. I was like, man, I really like that NPC. So
Yeah. It's the one you don't think about it immediately. Yeah. You go, oh, that's right, because without them we wouldn't know the thing and the blah. The little turning point NPCs. Those are if you put too much character into them, it takes like a whole session.
Yeah. Yeah, and I mean, all three of us know that you make 100 NPCs and like 2 of them ever make it at the end, you know? Like as far as like getting into the memory banks, you know what I mean? They have to make some kind of impact either on you or on the players or on everybody. And you never know. You can plan for that impact to happen and it doesn't happen that way. And then you can just not plan for it and something else happens that's crazy. But I think one of the main factors of an NPC being memorable is definitely it has to have a function. Like you guys are saying, you know, like it has to fill a role in the story for the players. It has to be significant enough. It has to fight back. It has to make the story exciting for them. And that NPC does exactly that. You know what I mean? They're coming, they're asking questions, they're getting involved, you know, they're ruthless. So if the players are in the way, they'll be ruthless to the players too.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? They have their own, they're in the world, they're living their world, you know what I mean? Like when you play Skyrim, I don't know if you guys, you probably know this, many people know this, but they like load the game as you go, you know, like it's right. Like, so like behind you, there's nothing, you know what I mean? It's just blackness, but as soon as you turn around, then it loads all that stuff. Right. So it's kind of like that in your tabletop games as well, but you still have to have some kind of thought for those NPCs. Like, what were they doing this last month? You know what I mean? That puts them in the position that they're in.
Yeah, in that moment, you've got to do a flashback.
You got to do. You don't. Where's this guy been? How's he been?
What they've been up to?
Yeah.
You know, did they gamble? That kind of thing. Yeah. I suppose I should mention an NPC. I'm going to not grab one from Forlorn Hope, because because I'm definitely going to mention what I've written later. So I'm going to go with Jackie.
Oh man, that was one of my picks for sure. That was one of my picks.
So you're just talking just straight up one of your favorite NPCs.
That's what he asked. One of my favorite NPCs.
I think he's the
one
GOAT.
That I haven't written. Jackie is a absolutely, and I mean it, preem NPC.
He's the GOAT memorable NPC.
Okay, spoiler warning for Cyberpunk 2077. If you haven't played it yet, what are you doing,
bro?
Act 1 spoiler. Yeah,
Act 1 spoiler. But that's what I think is really incredible about Jackie in general, is that he's this character that he becomes so important to you so quickly, and then they do the beautiful thing of yanking away from wanking him away.
Yes. That's spoiler,
more
guys.
criticisms.
That's one of the that's one of the missions towards the end.
18+ game.
That's why he has such an impact on us, because of the wanking. No,
but they yank him away from you in to get back on track. They yank him away from you, and it hurts a lot because the characters in the world, like he's with you for just long enough that you think he's permanent, and not quite long enough.
But dude, how hard is that to do? How hard
it's really difficult, but they do something that, like, there are plenty of games that kill a main character in the middle.
Yeah.
If you haven't played Expedition 33 and you love that shit, I suggest you go and check it out. That game is incredible and really mean. really mean. It'll spend hours demonstrating and a character's inner workings and their loves and desires, and then yank them away from you immediately, right in front of your face, very viscerally, not off screen. They are dead. And they do the same with Jackie, but the thing that Expedition doesn't do, that the Cyberpunk story does do, is it makes your mourning unique. And that's a lot more evident in the like roots of the TTRPG from like in the video game, where you get to decide what happens to Jackie at one point. I don't know if either of you got to this point. You also can choose not to go because you don't want to face it. You can also choose to pretend that everything's all right and that he's fully downloaded. You can live in denial if you want to. And there are a multitude of different options in the game that let you interact with how this NPC story will end. And I feel like that makes it really impact you, because that relationship with the NPC becomes personal. And I think that's the benefit we have as people who play a lot more tabletop with others, is we get to tailor that NPC's story to our players. Even when we grab from a book, like Hondel, like you get to tailor it to how your party is reacting. Whereas it's much more difficult to do that in a video game, really, especially with endings. And they really let it be a lot more open than most other titles do.
Oh man, that was good. I hadn't thought that deeply about Jackie as in, like, I just like, it's more like a gut punch to the story, and like the character obviously is extremely impactful, but you bringing up the like you can kind of mourn and grieve your own way and make your own stuff. I was like, oh shit.
Like what did you two do? What did you do with Jackie?
I wanted to see the engram. I wanted to see, like,
you looked.
I looked.
What did you do with it?
I let it go to the ether and let him like basically pass. Yeah.
I think I did the same.
Because the engram wasn't even the same Jackie anyway, and like that's what V says in the story.
Yeah,
but you can choose if you want to absolutely deny it.
Yeah.
Did you say goodbye?
Yeah, of course, dude. You think I'm a soulless
Not everybody
person?
did.
What do you think?
No, everybody did,
dude. I had to like compose myself, because in the first mission where he dies and you could see his dead body in the car. You get out of the car, you turn around and you look, and he's like this in the car. It's like, dude,
it's intense.
It's terrible,
first
dude.
Person was a tough choice, but they do a really good job of
It's
playing.
terrible. You walk away, you come back, he's still there. You're like, oh. Dude.
It's amazing what Jackie does for the players in terms of like getting the player into the world and into the story. It's genuinely kind of nuts. Jackie is a tutorial. Yeah. Jackie is a lore dump. He also helps you experience the passage of time without it being too jerking for the actual audience or the player. And he explains the world, and in his death, he also explains the world, because that's one of my favorite things about the world of Cyberpunk, is you're not here for long.
Yeah.
How are you going to leave a mark? All the most famous people have a drink named after them, and you only get a drink named after you after you die.
After you die, yeah. It's like the Medal of Honor, you get it when you die.
So he is the example. You've heard of Johnny. There's a Johnny drink you can get, but you in the game get to see someone make a Jackie Wells.
Yeah.
And then you get to choose if you want to drink it or not.
Yeah.
Ma.
This is good.
Yeah, and he's in the game for a fraction of the game. That's the crazy thing about it.
Yeah. Like, and now with the DLC, even less.
Yeah. Exactly. Yeah. All right. Well, hey, it was hard to top that. That was my first choice, but I do have a second choice. Choice. So my NPC, his name is Arata. He is a Tiger Claw fixer. If you guys have been watching my, I'm saying the audience, if you guys have been watching my latest actual play, he is a NPC in the game. Now, I didn't make this NPC. He was a backstory NPC for one of the players. So it's kind of like cheating. You know what I mean? It's like, I knew he would be, it's better chances for him to be memorable because one of the players already has stakes against this guy. You know what I mean?
Right.
So the whole thing about him is he's like a sleazy fixer, and he's like, all the players have basically kind of fallen from grace in the streets, and they can't work with big time fixers. They got to work with this guy. and he's like a backstabber, a liar. You get there, like he's like, oh, there's no security, and there's like, you know, cyber psycho security, like, you know what I mean? And he goes, oh, whoops, well, did you get the job done? You know, that kind of thing. So the players hate him, and I know all I have to do is just keep on making the players hate him even more and more, and just do all the things that they hate, and just concocting the different ways to mess with the players with this guy, like getting under their skin, backstabbing them.
Yep.
I was texting the other players or the other characters as him, saying like, hey, you shouldn't trust the other player, you know, blah blah blah, like trying to do whatever I could to like divide them. And by the end of it, they literally told me, like in DMs, like, hey John, I don't know what you're planning next session, but we want to get this guy, okay? So like, just cancel your plans and get to work, okay? So yeah, I don't know if you guys have had any NPCs like the bad guy that is so fun to play with.
Oh, yes. And that's one of my favorite NPCs to make and play is the ones that they hate. Because I love when my players after will just be like they talk about the game after and they're like, oh, I fucking hate that guy or whatever. I have for my Vampire the Masquerade game, I made essentially a anti-hero kind of villain who I hate using this analogy because I don't, but I'm like, it's hard to think of another great comparison, but essentially like a Draco Malfoy kind of character who is slimy and you hate him, but he also can potentially be redeemable and or like help the party at some point or be like kind of like I like a kind of anti-hero so that like
his character has an arc. It has an arc.
Yes, has an arc.
Yeah.
Yes.
That's very low-key, I've always thought. I think that's
low-key is one of those.
Better comparison, I feel.
Yes.
So yes, like very slimy, very trickster, and like they kind of love to hate him, but they also may need to use him or make alliances with him and work with him. And so yes, one of my favorite
types. Oh yeah, if they need to interact with the NPC, it's so much better because like he gave him a lucrative job, he pays, you know, if he didn't pay they wouldn't work with him. It's never what it's supposed to be. Like they called the Maelstrom boss when they got there and told him like, hey, this guy's coming, and he's like, well, if the Maelstrom kill him, then I'll get paid from Maelstrom. If they get the thing they're supposed to, then I'll get my thing from them. So he's like always backstabbing. You know, playing both sides, not even apologetic, you know, and pissing the players off.
You know, it's really fun to have an NPC that the players want to get something from. It's even more fun to have an NPC where your players need to get something from them. Those are really fun. I love those so much. Where the choice is... The choices are so important for your players. If you are making an NPC, all the NPCs you liked are based in real big choices. To use another CD Projekt Red example, there's the Red Baron. Tough choices. Very dirty. There is no good choice in this. And that's, honestly, if you're playing at the table, don't make this, it's not a Disney cartoon. Don't make it black and white. Make tough choices. People die, blood happens. We had Tracy and I did a side quest recently where I gave Tracy's character in No Latency, Vivi, a really difficult choice. And it's funny because I went over the plan of the arc that we ran for the one shot, and it's called A Choice of Heart, so it's medically related, and so Vivi was going to have a big choice in there. And as I planned it, I was like, oh, she'll probably do this. No.
Big mistake.
Did not do the thing that I thought you were going to. And that's very exciting because I created an NPC who I thought was going to die. And now, because a lot of the way that we play, everything we do is persistent, that guy exists. What do I do with that?
Yeah.
How does that affect the rest of the world? What kind of domino effects, haha, no latency pun, does it affect? Thanks, Tracy.
Well, the NPC has...
Comment in chat. Comment in the comments if you understand the joke we just made.
Please do.
Like and subscribe. I love an NPC that character's called Dr. Glass, and I love an NPC that gives them not a choice they want, but a choice that they have to make or work with them because they have to. They don't have a choice. It's this or death. It's this or obscurity.
Yeah.
Those NPCs will stick to your players' minds. They'll really think of like, how can I get one up on this person so eventually I don't have to work with them anymore.
Yeah. Yeah.
And creating a character that people hate but still want to play on a table with is a careful balance. Because they don't have to love every one of your NPCs, but if they're really annoying, you might want to retire.
We just want to kill him, or they'll just kill him or something like that.
Just
Yeah, I mean, the last time they interacted with Arata, they found out that he was stealing money from one of the players. Like,
oh, great.
Yeah,
He's
so
dead then.
it's what, yeah, what
dead man.
I'm telling you,
Cyberpunk.
I literally went down the list. I went down the list and did all the things. I checked all the boxes.
That guy's gonna die. He's gonna die.
They were like, okay, let's go kill him. Okay, and they're like, well, we have to collect our money first. And they're like, okay, we'll collect our money. As soon as he does that, we'll kill him. Right? Everyone like
from his body. Collect the money from his body.
We're not leaving until he gives me 10 grand. That's what they said.
Gee.
Okay, because that's how much that's how much they think he stole. You know,
10 G's. Jeez.
Probably stole more. So basically, he was like, it was a MedTech is one of the players. He's a Ripper Doc, and he has customers. And one of the customers came up to him and said, like, "Hey, Doc, like, why was it so expensive last time?" And he goes, "What do you mean? I paid. What did Arata charge you?" And he told him, and it was like astronomically more than what he actually would have charged, right? So, and he was just pocketing all that extra money.
Amazing.
You know what I mean? So, and he just found out about it. So he's like, "All right, we're gonna get our money back." But I had Arata wearing, when they went to go pick up the money, he said, "I have a dead man switch." He like opened his shirt and there was like C4 strapped all around him. He's like, "If I go, we all go." And it's like, after that, they were like, we're going to get this guy. Okay. We're not even going to kill him. We're going to ruin him. So they are like, we want to destroy his business. We want to destroy everything about him and not even kill him. Like, he'll die on his own anyway. But that's what makes it memorable. You know what I mean? Is I feel like that one is a lot easier to do than someone that they like. You know what I mean? It's easier to get them to hate somebody because you know what they wouldn't, you know, but for them to like really like an NPC is so tough.
Yes. And I feel in certain games, in certain tabletop settings, especially Cyberpunk or some of these more dark storytelling, yes, I feel like players tend to be a bit more cynical in general toward NPCs, and they'll be more on like the hostile side of keeping their guard up, not immediately being friendly. I mean, it depends. Depends on the type of party you have. Some people may just be more, some players may be more gung-ho and friendly, but I see more of a pattern of people tending to keep their guard up. And then yes, it's more likely to just be like, yeah, we don't like you. We don't like your, anything about you. And so, yeah, that's another thing that I always find interesting with
that is interesting. Yeah, because the players they make everything transactional. It's like, will this NPC which you would never do in real life, or else you'd have no friends. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and in general, people try to be nice to strangers. You know, but it's just like in Night City, it's like no, you know, you meet somebody, you're like, it's a whole different vibe, and it's so funny.
Oh man.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think the setting really does affect the NPC heavily.
Yeah.
You go to a happy little town near a forest in a glen in some like lovely fantasy setting, and that person's like at least going to be at first nice.
Yeah. You know? My favorite thing is like when I'm writing a cyberpunk game, like players are always going to end up at a bar. Like they're always going to go to a bar, and sometimes if you have your regular bar, your people and you have NPCs, but it's like sometimes people, I'm like, okay, they're just walking into a bar, and I have to I'm like, how do I bring this bar to life? I have to make some characters, we got to have some memorable people in this bar. Whether it be like somebody trying to, swindle them, or somebody trying to flirt with them. And just, it's one of my other favorite things about, building a world is like, and those times, sometimes you just like think of something on the spot too. You can come up with a NPC, like you're in a bar and your players and they're like, shit, like I got to think of something. And you just start impromptu building some characters to bring a bar to life.
Yeah.
I have a lot of fun doing that too.
Oh yeah, it's so fun, especially making like making something happen, like a guy fighting with his girlfriend.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yes.
Like
some drama happening.
Like right next to you, and it's spilling over, but now add cyberware to the mix and like drugs and you know, everybody has guns, and it's like this is a different situation. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I like to plan like little things that happen just so there's a world that's around. But sometimes I feel like I over plan with that stuff and I never use it. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but having it in the pocket, I think, is just when you will use it. It's the thing of like, yeah, they didn't find the object you left in room 1. Then put it in room 3.
Yeah.
No one will know.
No one will know.
The same with NPCs. Like, oh, they didn't latch onto that guy. All right, change his name, give him a slightly different motivation, and put him into 2 sessions from now and see if they latch on again. Mm-hmm. But I think that's more of a general, like, creating NPCs for players to interact with. I think there are 2 very, very different things in general when it comes to NPCs. The ones that we enjoy because we liked interacting with them, and then the ones, as all of us are GMs, the ones we enjoy being with players. And most TTRPGs, that's a really simple division. You know, I think it's funny, in a video game, a escort quest is like, oh, yeah, I don't want to. Please run faster. Why can you not run as fast as the main protagonist in this video game?
Whoever invented whoever invented that, dude. And then when you play a game where they do run as fast as you, you're like, thank you.
They listen. They know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But it's different when it comes to Cyberpunk. Cyberpunk throws in a third one, and that's the NPC you play with one of your players. If they're playing an exec. That's like, I haven't seen that in really any other TTRPG, and it's just for like one random role in Cyberpunk. Like, no other role gets it. They just get like, and they can have a bunch. Like, if your exec levels up, you can have like 5.
Yeah,
it's
a team, a whole team.
I've done it. Have any of you had an exec with an assistant, and how did you like gauge that?
Yeah, I have. But Tracy, you go first.
I was going to say, thankfully in our game and no latency, our exec doesn't forget about their assistants, because that's the thing. Sometimes my exec kind of neglected and forgot about their assistants. So it's like, okay, I have this thing. And so
there's a mechanic for that.
Yep.
Yes.
There's definitely a mechanic. You're losing points.
Yes. So I think my exec had an ego, and he thought like he could do everything on his own, and he never really used his assistant. And so, yes, so kind of neglected it. So I didn't have to worry about it too much personally. Like, we didn't really build a super like deep backstory for this assistant because he just didn't really use it much. But that's not the case for no latency, where we use our assistant all the time.
No, we have several. We have more than one.
Several. Yeah.
Our exec has technically 3. They've got Vendel, they've got Fresh, and Risky, their little robot.
Oh, perfect.
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah, I think the thing is, like, the trouble with having an NPC is you might fall into the trap of having an NPC that's cooler than the players. Some GMs, they do that. They like insert themselves into the game sometimes, unfortunately. And they're like, I'm going to make the most powerful character, and it's going to be stronger than the party. And then that like ruins the fun for everybody. So, and then you also don't want the NPC taking the limelight, because now you're just talking to yourself. You're like, this NPC talking, you know what
Absolutely.
I mean? As a game master.
I as a game master, I agree with you.
Yeah.
That's I think that's the NPC that you're pulling from the story, the one they had no hand in. When it comes to the exec, honestly, the secret to an exec in Cyberpunk, if you're going to do it, is to just voice them. That's it. And then just keep asking the exec, like, what do you think Vendel would do? What do you think? Like, Vendel's a prime example of like, we actually cut this out of the show a lot, but I often ask Jade, oh, what do you think Vendel would do? And I'll suggest stuff, but the secret is if the exec goes, I don't think they do that, and their points are above 4, like, okay, what do they do?
Oh, okay.
You get to decide. And then I'm just going to voice what they do. They're going to kick them in the face. I was going to use a sword, but yeah, I'll kick them in the face. I'm going to kick you in the face. Bam. And then the story keeps going. Roll for it. You know what I mean? And the friction that because you will eventually build up a trust with you and the player. And then if the points go down, when the assistant starts saying no, you create a genuine emotional response with your players. We haven't had that because everybody loves Vendel, but if it did, that's where it could go.
Yeah. For my exec player, he had 2 NPCs. He had a solo bodyguard, and then he had a net runner. So the solo bodyguard, he was like, "Why? How about she's like my assistant, or like pretends like she's my assistant, and she's like very unassuming and quiet, but whenever it comes down to it, like she's a badass, and no one knows, and she'll take people by surprise that way." So that was a lot easier to play because she only speaks when spoken to or when she has something important to say. You know what I mean?
Yeah, but John, the other thing about having an assistant in the team is that you can use it to be like, come on, go, do something.
Exactly. I think this is a bad idea,
like
sir.
talking about a room and you'll be like, somebody roll perception.
You should definitely roll bureaucracy, sir.
And it's just one of those things where the NPC can be like, hey, there's a thing over here that we should look at.
Yeah.
That's weird.
Yeah.
And they'll just go and look at it. It can really help keep a game moving. And it's funny because sometimes we'll run a game where I don't have an NPC with them. And I find myself being like, oh, I wish I could have someone be like, we should look at the roof right now. Like anything. Vendel really helps move things along as like a little reminder that there is a plot hook waiting for them around the corner.
That's great. Yeah, what I ended up doing for the Netrunner is one of my players gave me this idea. He's like, hey, can I just play the Netrunner? And I'm like, oh yeah, like what's the big deal? It is mostly narrative. He could even roll for it. You know what I mean? Yeah. What's the big deal? Like it doesn't really, and that way I'm not all the NPCs. He can be this other character and play it whatever way he wants. And the other player was like, yeah, that's cool. You could be my Netrunner's assistant whenever, we're role playing. And it worked out perfectly. So I was like, dude, if you get, you get more assistants, like, have the other players play those assistants whatever way they want.
Really fun. I like that. I like that.
Yeah. So that worked out really well.
Yeah.
I think putting if you are going to have assistants, I think, unless it's really important to the player, I think having the Netrunner be sort of remote and then like dialing in through the executive's like agent or through that kind of stuff, and then just have extra story about getting a signal underground if they need to give them the agency, but like not having the body is a great idea. That when it comes to your Netrunner, leave them be remote. That way, if they are on site ever, it becomes really interesting.
Yeah.
Like if they go to a random bar and they just see the Netrunner off beat, just having a drink with his friend Amy or whatever, and you're like, oh, do you have a friend called Amy? And then there's a new story that goes on there. But keeping them remote is super important, I think, because it just keeps the story going.
Our backstory for the Netrunner was he was addicted to elf lines online. So like he'd be like, so good. I have a raid, I can't help you right now, or like I'll do it real quick, but I have to get back to my raid.
Although we've never explicitly said our Netrunner can't come with them because he didn't get approved for work from home.
Makes sense.
So whenever they go to his office, he's always there.
Yeah.
Like, oh, you're here.
Yeah.
That's cool. Yeah.
I have another. I'm actually curious your guys' thoughts because I was thinking about this as we were talking about like NPCs that help the players. I'm curious your guys' thoughts because this is something NPCs that are almost like you're powerful, like almost too powerful kind of NPC that you don't want the players to utilize too much, to kind of take advantage. And an example I'm thinking of is, this is something maybe perhaps you would see in like D&D. I had like a character who was a warlock, had a warlock patron. The patron was very invested in our characters and like the jobs that they were doing in my D&D party. But he's also very powerful and this kind of mysterious, alluring warlock patron that would give me powers. And a lot of times we're trying to solve a quest or a mission, and most of the players would be like, hey, why don't we just ask your patron and see what he thinks, or is getting him for help.
Right.
And I
Right.
kind of have a very GM centric mind. I'm like, I don't want to just ask this NPC, this like all powerful NPC for help all the time.
Right.
Because I'm like, that's not fun.
No.
So, but it was also my character. Like I played it in character that she was determined, like she's like, I'm not going to use him for help all the time. Like I want us to solve this on our own. But I'm also thinking from a meta player perspective, like I don't want just like this NPC helping me all the time. You know?
I think
yeah.
I think you've found an NPC that a lot of GMs find themselves cornered into. And when that happens, I remember that Gene Roddenberry did it too. With Q.
With Q, yeah.
And the cool thing about Q is a good example of that kind of character, because unlike, I actually think he's bigger than a god, because he's bigger than the universe, right?
Yeah.
Q at least. Whereas most of your patrons are bound to a plane or have some kind of limitation or a weakness. Q doesn't. They're kind of like, barring like one episode of Star Trek, they're essentially not just immortal, but beyond immortal, like beyond the state of matter.
Yeah.
But that means that what's happening on the Enterprise is like so insignificant on the grand scale of things. It is so insignificant that it takes a lot for him to be invested in those moments. It is like playing with a toy.
Yeah.
And I think if you give your players that impression of like, I mean, they might help, but essentially they have to be bored enough.
He doesn't just look at the Enterprise. He's interested in Picard. So it's like one person he focuses on. And he's like messing with him. Like he could kill him at any moment. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
he could destroy the universe if he wanted. He could destroy, like, you know, he's as powerful as any entity that is equal to him. You know, you find out he's part of like a council later or something. But that's not his motivation. And I think that's what you were talking about, Tracy, with your patron. You know, they're like, oh, why don't we ask them for help? And it's like, the patron's not out here to help me. You know what I mean? They have their own agenda. I have no idea what it is. They're giving me a portion of their power. I'll never know their true agenda. And what makes you think if I go and like ask them for something that they're going to do it for me? Maybe part of their agenda is watching me fail or not fail or try to get through things on my own. You know what I mean? So
yeah. So I that is good. Like, because it's like, I think sometimes players don't always think about that. Like they're just like, oh, let's just ask for help. But I'm like, it's not always about, you know, asking for help from the, like if a fixer wants to ask like their boss, like for help,
Right.
I'm like, it's not always about that, you know? And it's true. It's like the all powerful, you know, crime boss fixer does not care about this one group of edge runners. And it's not always there to help them at their beck and call.
yeah, what?
Sure,
Oh,
at some
they
point.
died. Oh, whoops. Oh well. You know.
Yeah, like, and it is nice sometimes when they come to help. Like, oh shit, like you know, this powerful patron that I have came in and helped, but it's not. Yeah, it's an interesting balance for sure.
Yeah.
So,
I think if your players keep doing it, if your players keep going, but like, you know, Space Daddy, will you help us? You just, I think eventually you have to convince them and say, hey, not convince them, but let them know, like, this is to you, this is important, but an emergency on your part does not constitute an emergency on mine, because I can see time, you know, whatever it is.
Yeah, I think those kind of NPCs are very memorable too. Those really all powerful ones. You know, if you do it the right way, where they're not just like throwing their power around and they're just showing the players a little bit of their power and letting them know, like, you know, you could be at my level one day, you know, and that's what makes it memorable, because they're like, oh, okay, that's end game. Like you see Atom Smasher.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Yeah. If you're like a guy that wants to make like a crazy solo that's super powerful, you're like, okay, I want to make a style like not Atom Smasher, but, you know, Atom Smasher-esque. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Atom Smasher's such a... I love how well he's been made.
Yeah.
Because there's such an enigma.
Yeah.
You're just like, wait, why is he not nuts? What? And there's nothing left, man.
Yeah.
You saw him in 2077, there's nothing left.
Yeah.
And even in the in the anime. Again, nothing. There's nothing. There's no human.
No, there's nothing. He's just we don't even know what he is. Does he even have motivations?
Does he have motivate? I mean, do you guys have theories on Adam Smasher? I do.
I think he's just a
not canon. I know I've written for Artil, just for the record. Not canon.
I think he's just a nihilist, and like he's gone cyber psycho. He's completely cyber psycho.
Yeah, I think it's just the cyber psychosis that just has taken him beyond human and just completely borged out.
I think Adam Smasher is dead. I think what Adam Smasher is an engram, which is why he hasn't gone cyber psycho. It's not human. It's an AI construct of Adam. It's an exact copy.
Interesting.
So he reacts exactly the same way, but that's why he's not mad, and that's why it doesn't matter that there's no flesh in that being.
Or he
I also think that means that Adam Smasher can be, essentially, in terms of cyberpunk lore, if they wanted him to be, immortal. So if they did like a 2162 or whatever, you could have him be a legacy NPC.
That's kind of the concept a bit of Fiona Hayes in the Net 54 NPCs, so the Danger Gal dossier. That, which I also wrote for, and I wrote about some of Fiona Hayes' lore. There's always like theories, or it's not fully confirmed. You can interpret it how you want to, but she's been around for a long time, and there's like theories of if Net 54 is like cloning her, if like the real Fiona Hayes is dead, like this is just another copy, that kind of thing, because she's like the face of Net 54, and is she going to be the face forever, kind of thing? And they're gonna, what's the story there? So that's interesting that you have that theory about Adam Smasher.
That's my Adam Smasher theory.
Yeah.
They've toyed around with that kind of idea of like engrams, and because like Saburo Arasaka wanted to live forever. That's like the whole idea, right? Like he wanted to keep going.
That's where Relic was like seeded.
Exactly. Yeah, I think that all of our theories are plausible. But what if he's gone so cyber psycho that he's like reached the Zen state?
Oh, like it's like, like kind of beyond.
He's like past the spectrum. Like, you know what I mean? Like he went off the scale. You know what I mean? And now like
what is your mind there at that point?
Yeah. I love the idea that the actual answer is as simple as like it works. It does work. You're so mad that you're not quite. That you have control. Like you're so insane you have control.
Yeah.
But also, I just love the idea of him just no, he's dead.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's just an AI construct.
Yeah.
And then that reflects a little bit. I would like that if that was the truth, because then it would reflect the cyberpunk story more.
Man, there's so many characters that just don't die. Johnny Silverhand, Raish Bartmoss, they don't go away. They just stay forever.
Yeah. I know.
And Adam Smasher.
Yeah.
Oh man. Yeah, I like that. So we're talking about memorable NPCs and talking about allies, enemies. Have you guys ever had any memorable NPCs that you literally use like one time and the players just won't stop talking about them? And you had no plans for this NPC to ever be anything other than like the guy that they talk to in the moment to shop. You know what I mean?
Yes. A god named Steve.
I was waiting for someone to mention Steve, the golden man himself. If you have any artwork, please send it to me so I can put it on screen.
I mean, that's essentially what, because here's the funny thing is Philip is an ex-Steve. The netrunner that our exec has is an ex-Steve.
Yeah, perfect.
Spoilers for No Latency, the Steves are clones. But originally in our one-shot, this is long before season 1, which we did for Save the D8, we did a one-shot of Cyberpunk with some of the players, and that's where No Latency started, and they went to an auction, a mansion, and they had to steal something, and that thing they stole had guards there, and there were a bunch of different guards, and one of them was a guard named Steve, and Steve gets murked in front of everyone, like his head blown off, and I decided for season 1 I'd have the Steves come back, and then they loved killing them so much. They just, because they were like, wait, you look exactly this, you're a clone, aren't you? All right, bah, 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 bah. And they just more and more got slaughtered over and over and over and had no intention. And there's this whole story about like, oh, he was cloned because his dad was sad and then he got mad and then it's actually a clone of himself and blah, blah, blah. It goes off on a big, long tangent. And he comes back for season 2 because I thought it would be funny. I'm not bringing them back again. They are dead. But it all started with just I wanted there to be a shitty guard at this auction. And they set him up and he failed so hard that the people who ran the auction shot him.
Yeah.
And then that guy's dad, it turns out to not be his dad, but the original version of the clone of himself that he had as a son, got angry at the crew and just tried to mess with them for an entire season. That's where that started. Again, I was reacting to players' actions.
Yeah.
And it was really fun. And they're so annoying. I'm glad I don't have to do the voices hard anymore. Philip is way softer than all of them.
Yeah.
Just, yeah.
He's like emergent AI, right? Like he's broken through the veil, Philip, right? That's why he's Philip.
No, he was a bad print.
Oh, he's a mutt.
So when they went to raid the castle, this building where all the Steves were made, there were a few that weren't printed very well, who were like shacked up in cells, and they left. They were all they have a terrible name as a gang, which I won't say because it's actually quite rude.
Yeah.
But one of them that they dragged out was this kid, obviously called Steve, and Iona changed his name to Philip, and now he's called Fresh Pete.
Oh,
Yeah.
nice. I like that.
Yeah.
That's cool.
Wow.
Have you had any interactions with Steve yet, Tracy?
With
We
Steve?
have.
Yeah.
Yes. So yes, I know all about the Steve.
You like killing Steve too, you monster?
They love killing Steve. I made mutant Steves for Halloween last year.
Dude, that's
They
great.
had like different functions and like body parts. There was this big one with a wrecking ball attached to his arm.
That's great.
And I swear it's always the NPCs with the name that is like the more, I don't want to say generic. Sorry to anybody whose name is
No,
Steve.
you're right.
But it's
No,
also-
but you're right. You're right.
It's like Steve, because the one that I was thinking of, another no latency call out is Chad. Another
Chad.
another NPC where I think this is like kind of another example, like a kind of co-built NPC where myself and Paris,
An
like I
emergent
had,
NPC.
yes, it was like I had an ex-boyfriend named Chad, or like this guy who, and like now,
No, you said
no.
I had an ex-boyfriend who was kind of a Chad, and I went, oh, so his name is Chad.
Yeah. And now we've kind of used Chad for multiple things in our story now. He's kind of just stuck around. And now the audience kind of feels bad for Chad because we've been using him. Like
Wow.
I'll lead him on if we need something. I'm like, hey Chad, do you mind like helping out with this thing? And
While like openly kissing other NPCs.
Wow, dude. He's in the
So-
bullpen.
yeah.
That's
yeah.
the
I mean,
bullpen.
the thing is that you like Chad enough to that if he's like, hey, I'm dying, to like go and help him
yes.
not die.
Yeah.
Yes.
So you're not
He's-
completely
he's a-
heartless.
He's a trauma team ambulance driver.
Oh,
but
you-
he
you
was
can
like a
use
jock
that.
in high school.
Dude, that's
Exactly.
a good connection.
He was, yeah. The first adventure they went on with Chad. Chad calls up because someone stole his ambulance.
Oh
He's
my
like,
god.
if you trauma team's gonna be real angry.
Bro, are you kidding
That is
me?
not his voice. I just wanted to say real angry.
I was like, I thought that was his voice for a second.
No, Chad is like, yeah, Vivi. I'm really like brave but also help.
Yeah, he was a great NPC that we like just built on, and like he even had a hoverboard. That I
Hey,
got
dude.
to,
Wow,
to meet,
amazing.
so
He even
I
had a
stole
hoverboard.
his
Past tense.
Yeah,
Had?
I
Oh,
took his
no.
hoverboard. Yeah.
Oh.
You returned his kidneys, so everybody sort of wins.
Holy
Yeah.
shit, he took his kidneys?
Oh yeah, they found Chad in a bathtub without his kidneys because he didn't pay the subscription. for it.
Okay. So
It was the trauma team one, right?
Which one? He's been dipped in trauma team, but yes, I think it was the second one. Was Chad lost his kidneys?
yeah.
Yeah.
That's the cyberpunk version of like paying your bills late or not paying your bills.
Yep.
You know?
It's like a Repo Man thing. It was
Yeah.
really fun.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That movie is totally messed up, Repo Man. Side note, where they take your parts back.
Oh, messed up. Yeah. That's what I mean. That's where I got the idea.
Yeah.
We had an NPC, like a Maelstrom NPC, and I just decided that this is a fun thing to do. If you have an enemy NPC, you're like, I'm pretty sure they're going to shoot this guy, or monster, whatever TTRPG you're playing. If they have the same language, give one of them a hobby or like that's exactly the same as one of the players. Because we had this like Maelstrom ganger who was obsessed with plushies and would like live stream on the garden about plushies. And Vivi, Tracy's character, also likes plushies.
Oh my god!
And I was like, hey, I'm just going to throw this in there, and if Vivi latches on, maybe there won't be combat. And you know what? There wasn't. But eventually, I was like, no, you should die. And I threw him back at the players. And they're like, no, dude, it's cool.
No, man, are you kidding me?
Fine. And then they moved on. And I'm like, no, I think you should die. Come on, here he is. There you go. And eventually, they eventually murked him. But he came back like 3 or 4 times. And all because I gave him the same thing as one of my players. That's always a fun way. Yeah. Just to make a little bit of like oh, wait, you like that too? Oh, that's cool. Stab. Yeah. That's nice. So you're bleeding. That's cool. Can I steal yours? Where do you keep them? Like, that can be fun.
Yes.
Yes. Yeah, totally. Yeah, I mean, just like in real life, you find someone that is into the same hobbies as you. You already, like, that's an icebreaker. You know what I mean? You already have something to talk about. You know? That's how, like, you make friends at the game store.
Also true. Yeah.
Stand near the TTRPG you like and just wait.
Yeah.
Yeah, I see you're playing Cyberpunk there, sir, or want to play.
Yeah. That's me at the Warhammer store. When just like, I'm very bad at making friends.
Dude.
Not true. We've been friends for 3 years. It's been lovely.
Yeah, but that was because we were mutually connected. And so I didn't have to, stand at a game store and try to be like, hey, want to play Warhammer?
Yeah, I get what you're saying. It's, it's hard to be social nowadays anyway. I get anxiety, I get overwhelmed. I get in my own head, and like I already have a wife, like she's my best friend.
Like I have my friends.
Yeah. And I have you guys, so I'm good, dude. I'm good. I don't need new friends. But I do need friends to test out this Warhammer RPG that I've been trying to get going.
Hey, yes.
Oh man, that's on the back burner. But anyway, I digress. Are there any other memorable NPCs that you guys can think of from video games, or even, I'd even bring it out to like books. You know what I mean? Like
Shopkeepers.
Yeah,
Shopkeepers are tough.
Let's talk Shopkeepers.
Because not every player. Yeah, I was hoping we get onto it, and now I forced it. Hey, what up?
I'm glad you did.
Shopkeepers are tough, man. Because if you're not careful, I've made this mistake. You can make them too interesting, and then the session is just buying stuff, and it's fun. But also, if you only get to play like once every 2 weeks, that's a lot of time rolling numbers and going, yep, deduct this from your sheet, use an eraser, or like delete the thing on the VTT. So I think you've got to balance it with like what is available, and if you want to have a roleplay moment with that NPC, then give the NPC something that they can get from the players. And I think the best one is protection. Have someone, if the shopping takes too long, have someone rob the shop, and then your friends and then your players get to protect the shop, and then they get a discount. But also, it means that you can have in the middle of it just a little bit of action. Even if it's a social one where someone like argues and then your players like talk them out. But do your best. If you make a cool NPC that is a cool shopkeeper, if it ends up getting to about halfway through the session and all you've done is like look up stuff to buy, do something about it. And it doesn't have to be a fight. It could be like, wait, my house is on fire, and then you can go and help the shopkeeper's house be put out. That kind of stuff. Or my car's getting towed, or something. It's that balance. I think it's important to have your shopkeepers sell something that you don't expect, and they only tell you about it after you've known them for a bit. Like our mechanic also sells explosives, but only if he likes you.
Yeah. Or if you know the secret password or whatever, you know what I mean?
That kind of stuff.
Yeah, you gotta have some kind of story. The problem is, like, in real life, how many shopkeepers have you seen that are interesting? Most of them are just like, they're just trying to
Oh, you guys are from America.
yeah,
That's obvious.
dude, gas stations, dude.
When
They're
I was
like,
a kid, there is
check in,
a
get out.
shopkeeper that I will never forget. He lived on the corner of my block. It was him and his two brothers that ran the shop, and they were the nicest people ever. I will never forget those people. There was when I went to university, there was a local chip shop, and the old lady who worked there loved to put her hair in really big curls, even though she worked in a chip shop. So she had it in this big net.
Oh, that's
she was
cool.
called Annette, and I loved that. I thought that was really funny. There are people in my life as shopkeepers who I remember who are really nice. Oh man, she made a really good fish and chips. Oh mate, tasty. And that's the kind of shopkeeper I want.
Yeah.
But I grew up with shopkeepers like that because I grew up in ye old England.
Dude, I mean, that's where the tavern idea comes from.
Vibe.
But that's funny because I opened up D&D and I was like, oh yeah, when I was a kid in the countryside, Gregory, the barkeep, nice guy, had a nose ring.
Some magical land.
What is this pub that you speak of?
Yeah, exactly. Even the bar, like a bartender at a bar, like sometimes there are nice bartenders in the U.S., but not as memorable. I feel
you got to go to a dive or like somewhere weird.
Yeah. That's true. That's true.
Theme bars, you'll get to know a good bartender, like a theme bar.
Yeah.
I have one of my most memorable shopkeepers was a 12-year-old boy that was working at the family restaurant, and like he's sitting there wide-eyed because all these adults are talking to him, and he's like, obviously he's scared. Like there's like 40-year-old people talking to him, and he's just trying to do his job, but he's working the family business. Mom and grandma and dad are cooking, and he's the cashier. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So like that is also interesting to role play in a like tabletop RPG. You know what I mean? It lets people know like, oh yeah, you're in a city. It grounds you. Like there's kids, there's families. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And you kind of interact with that.
It's that shopkeepers are really easy to get your players to build a relationship with, because if your players go back to the same shopkeep, oh, you've come back, you didn't die. I'll tell you what, I'll give you a 5% discount. Just a little bit.
Yeah.
It's all fake money in a game we're playing on a table anyway, so who cares? And just sell them the fun stuff. Don't sell them the extra exotic stuff. Make them work for that. And then do that again, and they build up this relationship. Oh yeah, let's definitely go and see this NPC, and then kidnap them.
Yeah, yes, and then also like to add on top of the shopkeeps is like taverns or bars, like creating unique owners of the establishment, and we're talking about like restaurants, things like that. Like it is like an interesting balance of things, and I just feel like a lot of times I love building like a regular place, like the hole in the wall that your players always go to, and the bar keep that they will always see, and that they have established that relationship with. It's another one that's very fun to have. It becomes familiar. It becomes like kind of cozy for your game. So I really like that. Yeah.
And Tracy, I love those two because it means you have something to threaten to give your players.
Yes,
oh yeah.
that too.
Once they start liking the NPC, yeah.
I know.
But the NPC, if they like that location, if they love that little bar, if they whatever
give
it
them
is,
something that they love, and and familiar.
And take it away.
All the good stories do that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, because those stories are to show gratitude. Like you won't always have these good things. Like be grateful for what you have.
It's
Something
a tabletop game. Your human players should be comfortable and happy. The characters in the story should always be striving for something. They have to need something. There's always be some kind of friction.
Yeah.
I think it's good to, like, when you're making a shopkeeper, definitely just have some kind of motivation. Like, what do they care about today? And like, what do they care about overall? Obviously, they want their business to do well. That's like a no-brainer. But has the delivery been late? You know what I mean? Is there competition across the street that just moved in and has taken all their business? And like that's like a big general thing that they have to deal with. Like their clientele got cut in half. And because of that,
You also go on.
I was going to say, because of that, the players come in, they want something, and the guy says, listen, I'll give it to you for free if you can go across the street and get that guy out of there because he's destroyed my business, you know? And it's like, I just gave the players something to do.
You should also decide if your shopkeepers are violent or non-violent.
Yeah, good one.
You should decide if they are
Do they have
combative.
a gun under the
or are they the kind of people
counter?
to be like, oh, you've got a gun? Yeah, sure. Here you go. Here's 500.
Yeah, you're right. Not
I'm gonna
everybody's
pay-
a fighter.
I'm going to pay them to hunt you down. I'll make like 300 back, whatever it is. Yeah, after he leaves, and be like, hey, could you guys go and like murk that guy and get my money back? I'll give you 200 of it.
Or they beg in fear, like they're traumatized. You know, like it could be all kinds of things. You know.
Yeah.
And do they own the business they're in? Because if they don't, do they give them monkeys?
Exactly. Yeah.
Like really think about the really quick questions of like why your character is here. It can really, really help. And I like to give every one of my NPCs, especially shopkeepers, quirks. So we have a doctor who is a clean freak. We have a weaponsmith who walks on his robotic hands that come out of his back. And he's very small. He's about 5 feet tall. His name is Clive. He's very nice.
Cool. I like that. I like that.
He's got big. I've got art for him actually. He's got big robot arms that come out of his back, and he sort of dangles as he walks along.
Another type of NPC I like to build, and this again depends on the type of game you're running and if your players are even interested in this, is like a potential like romantic interest for players. That's another favorite of mine. It's something I love in my games. You give me a character that I can potentially fall in love with, I will fight for that character, that NPC, like until the ends of the earth. And it's another thing that you can dangle, potentially take away from. That is one of my favorite connections in a TTRPG space. If I have somebody I love, like that brings the stakes up a million. And it's like, you don't have to role play the romance or anything. Just like if they have a wife, if they have a kid, somebody that they really care about, you start. But it's like more than just having them in the background, like having them present and occasionally having a scene with that NPC. Like, okay, you're establishing this person as a kid, and it's like, okay, that they have a family, they have a wife, and they care about this person. That gives them something to fight for and die for. And if something was to happen to them, like,
sometimes
what happens there? Yeah.
Sometimes your love for a person can make you love them so much that you're afraid of something happening to that person. And that's like something an NPC can do, is like you're arguing with one of the players as an NPC, but you're arguing because you care about them. It's like you're going to go out and you're going to kill yourself, you're going to die, you're going to leave me here alone. Like these are things that they think about. It raises the stakes, and rolling that death save means more now.
Yep. Yes, that too. So
also, if the NPC is one of your players' lovers, you make them roll the death saves.
Ooh.
And if they're not nearby, you make them roll the death saves into your GM area so they don't see the result.
Yeah. Oof.
You make it their hand.
Yeah.
Give your players stakes when it comes to these things. If their players if a player's like an NPC or hate like an NPC, lean in.
Yep.
Yeah.
Lean in.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So right. Yeah. That's one of those things I haven't ventured too much into. I did have one NPC that was a love interest that was like back in the day, and they kind of broke up, not because they fell out of love, but just because life, you know what I mean? Like one went this way, the other went that way, and it is what it is. There
is nothing wrong with a short-term relationship.
Yeah, but it was a long-term relationship that had to end.
No, I mean, in terms of an NPC, it's okay for an NPC to drift off. I suppose that's true in life as well, but it's okay for an NPC to drift off for a little bit. Oh, whatever happened to them? All right, roll for it or work it out. Do a flashback.
Yeah. Well, I brought the NPC back for the reason to backstab that player, because the NPC was in a bad situation and someone offered them something basically for information on one of their exes, and they need the money. So I played them as someone who's like regretting the whole thing, but feels ashamed. And then the player thinks like, kind of like didn't do well on the insight check, you know what I mean, on the human perception. And I'm like, they just look like they're dealing with the emotions of seeing you again. You know, so for the player is like, oh, let me comfort this person, be there for them. And then the NPCs thinking like, I'm about to Judas betray this person. You know what I mean?
Oh,
So
man.
I was like, dude, am I okay? I wasn't okay after that.
Oh man.
Yeah, dude.
I feel something that's a little underutilized in Cyberpunk specifically is like the tragic love affairs kind of backstory things that you can build into your character, or like if you had, you know, either ex-lovers or enemies or things. Like when my characters roll for ex-lovers, don't always build on them. It's just like, okay, yeah, I had 2 ex-boyfriends. And for me, I'm like, I play with my friends. So I was like, I know what my friend's type is. So I'm going to build a character that is her type, and make her ex show up. And she's like, and it's kind of like, oh man, I could see that. Like, it's like, oh, you know, she's into this type of character, and it's like, oh, and this was my ex. So it's very fun to do that kind of thing too, if you're playing with friends.
Diabolical.
Want to be a little cheeky there. So yeah, that's
did they hide under the table, or what did they
They ended up like confronting and interacting, but they did not get it like the ex. It was like they're kind of like the bad boy type, and so it didn't end very well, but it was like a good interaction to have.
Yeah, that's a real life interaction, you know, like it it's like not a good interaction with someone from your past could happen all the time.
Yeah,
but at least this way you can ask your GM like, do I look better than them? Can I roll for that?
Sorry,
it's been a few years. Please, can I roll to see if they've like maybe let themselves go a little bit, so I can feel better about my character self?
Yeah,
that's always fun.
Yeah, am I doing better in life than them? That's what I need to know.
Yeah.
Will you look at their character sheet and tell me how much XP you gave them?
Yeah.
You see.
Oh man, that's definitely one of those things that you have to be careful with, like treading into, because it can go as far as like being a little bit weird and creepy for some people to go that deep, maybe stressful to even like think about those kinds of things.
Yeah.
You know?
Definitely a session 0 kind of discussion, or you know, off screen, off the table kind of discussion. To make sure your players are good with it, for sure.
And don't assume that original conversation you had in session 0 is still like all okay, because you can ask someone and in the moment they're like, you know what? Yeah, I don't really feel like this table needs it. I'd prefer if we didn't. And it's completely okay for someone to just say that in the middle of like it's starting. Actually, I would prefer. Can we just like retcon? You just go back like 10 minutes. Who cares? But and then afterwards, like because Vivi has had some sort of spicy interactions with some NPCs in sort of the second half of season 2, and after every single one of those, me and Tracy and I just have a quick check-in. Are you okay? That was really fun, and we're having a great time. So we're both
that's good. And also you build that trust with the people that you play with, and you know, and you're like, oh, okay, I know where the line is, and I know how to get there, and that actually makes it easier for you to be able to like, you know, play on that.
Well, I think when it comes, go on, go.
I was gonna say those kinds of things definitely recommend. Like it's like if not a first time thing to do, like in like a first few episodes, like maybe it might be better something to build later on. Yes, once you've established that kind of trust and relationship with, you know, GM players and everything.
Well, like you said, you knew their types, you know, like you were like, I knew what type they liked.
They're like one of my best friends.
So you knew exactly where to go with it.
I like to think about when it comes to GMing someone, you've got to treat the romantic part of the story a bit like the long form dating concept of like, okay, we're going to start as friends and we'll get to know each other and then we'll move into spicier stuff. Essentially, TTRPGs are not Tinder. They're more like Christian Mingle.
You're so right. You're so right.
You do the allergies tonight. Oh my god!
But everyone will be comfortable if you genuinely like just like slow burn, take the long road. You know, because you'll know more. Like Tracy was saying, like you knew your friend's type. That's way more fun to throw in the table than in like session 2 where you're like, and there's a hot human there. You think they're attractive? Roll for it.
Yeah.
It's not. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and I've had, not many times, but I've had times where a player would be like, I want to flirt with an NPC, and sometimes I think to myself, like, okay, maybe this person doesn't want to be flirted with at all. You know what I mean? Like, maybe.
Oh yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, this NPC has to have some kind of motivation. Maybe they would flirt with this person at a different time, at a different date, but they're at their job right now. Like, who wants to be hit on at their job sometimes? You know what I mean? Like, let me just do my job. I want to clock in, clock out, you know?
And I think in those moments, a crit success is them going, have a nice day, and walking away. A success is them slapped across the face.
Yeah, exactly.
And a fail is them kicked out of the bar. Your crit success is the bartender looks at you and doesn't treat you like crap.
Yeah.
You know, a crit success does not mean, oh, they changed their mind and now they're graciously sucking on your neck. I said neck. But yeah, it's as a GM, don't think that they rolled a crit. Oh, I'm attractive suddenly. No.
Yeah.
The best case scenario in that situation is that no one thinks that they're an asshole.
Well, you know,
if it's a little joke and walk away.
If they're flirting to get into the nightclub, let's say, if they roll a success, they can still get in, but like the NPC doesn't want to have anything to do with them. You know what I mean? They'll be like, look, you're charming, you got Riz, get in here, but leave me alone. You know what I mean?
Yeah, exactly. That's your best. Don't be fooled as a GM when a player's like, oh yeah, crit. I'm going to get this bouncer's number. No, you're not. They're just going to let you in and be like, I suppose they're not an asshole.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've had like players go like, oh, what are you doing after? Like, do you want to get some drink?
A crit.
That's it.
I just rolled a 10
right now. You survive. But I've had players go like, oh, I'll ask the bouncer, like, what are you doing after? Like, I'll take you out for drinks. And I'm always like, they're going home. They don't want, you know what I mean? They're not standing outside of a nightclub to later on go to a nightclub, dude. You know what I mean?
Yeah, your PC has never worked in a bar.
Yeah,
no,
dude, come on. Are you kidding me? This night shift or graveyard, you know? In Night City? I just want to go home, dude.
Go home.
Is there anything else you think that is coming to mind? Any NPCs?
Legends.
Legends.
Yeah.
That's
people
right.
who have done things before that you want your players to do better. Prime example is Johnny Silverhand.
Yeah, an NPC your players will likely never ever meet, right?
Mainly because they're dead.
Yeah,
most of the time. But like someone legendary who did a thing, and you're like, you want to be as good as that guy. That's a great setup.
Yeah, that's a good one.
Yeah.
Do you guys have any like legends, or other than Johnny Silverhand, you know, any like homebrew people in your story that you're like, these people came before you? I have one in my game. It usually, these come from like the backstories. It's like mentors of the players, you know?
Right.
One of my players is a net runner, and a mentor named Frank raised them, you know, like as a kid all the way up, like taught them martial arts, taught them net running. And they don't even know their real name. They would say like, what's your real name, Frank? And he would say, well, to be frank with you, I can't say. So that's why it's just Frank. It's just Frank.
Very good.
You know what I mean?
Okay.
And so that's how they're known. And then one day, after like raising this kid and being like their father basically their whole life, they just leave and like disappear. Frank just disappears. You know what I mean? This all happened in session 0. Like, we haven't interacted with Frank. He's not an NPC that has lines in any of our games, but he's a legend that is definitely on more than just the netrunner's mind. The other players are like, I wonder what the hell's going on with this Frank guy. You know what I mean?
We've got that on No Latency. We have one, and it came from season 1. And it is now a persistent part of our story, and it comes up all the time. Tracy, do you know what I'm talking about?
I'm like, is it Domino Ping? Who?
No, it's Sano.
Oh, Sano. Yeah.
Yeah.
I guess,
Yeah. In season 1, he was a player character played by an amazing performer called Kendall. And he had to make a sacrifice. The character had to make a sacrifice at the end of the season. And now everyone treats that act with such reverence that his character is now essentially an NPC for the players because he's not coming back. But his story is interesting, and it was extra interesting because Tracy came in to sort of take up that seat for the show for season 2, and the players talk about what Sano did all the time. Well, that's almost like having an NPC by like third person.
Yeah,
you're getting them by someone else's
a
interaction.
character got promoted to an NPC, right?
Yeah.
Essentially, yeah.
Yeah, what's that like for you, Tracy? Like Paris asked.
Yeah, it's interesting because my character didn't know Sano, so I use it as a time to interact. Like, so what was Sano like there? And they'll kind of recall memories of things they did with Sano, and it is like, you know, having a drink at the bar and recounting these things, these stories of legend kind of thing. So it gives me a nice opportunity to learn about this character and how they feel about the character and how they uplift him after he's gone. And so I really like that to be able to ask about that. Yeah.
It's a good way for you, especially if all of your players are familiar with the history. It's a good way for all of your players to role play and show a lot about themselves.
Yes.
Do they agree or disagree with the choices? You know, how does Vivi react to like, oh, Sano would just kill someone? You're like, oh, wow, okay, like straight up.
That's interesting.
Yeah.
Like as your character, you're like, you know, why do you have reverence for this person that's gone? You know what I mean?
Yeah. Like who, you know, who was, and then they'll share like their deepest like stories, like heartfelt things about him. So
it's pretty cool, man.
Kind of cool.
That's actually really cool.
It's really cool.
It's like a pocket reality, you know what I mean?
Yeah, it is.
Yeah, we have we've definitely taken a slight left turn from regular cyberpunk lore. There's a few extra things we've added to the world, and you should too. If you are playing any TTRPG, add your own source to it, because why not? It's a game you play with your friends. It doesn't matter.
Yeah. I have a character that was a player character, but the player passed away. Yeah. And so we were just kind of like, so like, what do we do with the character? Like, we don't want to kill his character, you know what I mean? Like, that doesn't make... So we just thought of like a good, happy ending for the NPC, you know what I mean? To like go off and like be happy. And so we all know like the NPCs out there in the game, you know what I mean? And like they're out there like enjoying themselves and like they made it.
Amazing.
You know what I mean?
Yeah,
that's amazing.
I remember when that first happened. I'm really sorry.
Yeah, no, I mean it was a while ago. It's a crazy experience. I never thought that, you know, I felt everything at the table. Like I've had problem players, I've had power players, I've been the problem sometimes, you know what I mean?
Haven't we all?
Yeah, you know, especially in the beginning when I didn't know what I was doing. But that was like insane, dude. Like we were not okay for a little while, but you know, I think we ended up just remembering that like he would want us to just like keep going in his honor, and he had a lot of fun with us, and he would want us to be happy still. So we just like made that pledge that like we'll just honor him and remember him and like keep it going, you know?
Wow.
Yeah.
That's wild.
Yeah. Well, I didn't mean to bum us out.
I'm not end on that note. No.
Okay. Well, let's not end on a sad note.
Nice.
Let's talk about funny or quirky NPCs.
Oh my god, dude!
Enjoy
the goofballs.
The goofballs.
My favorite. I don't know. So another thing about NPCs, you don't always have to do accents. I'm really bad at doing accents. I can't. But the one I can do is a New York accent. And every time I bring out the New Yorker, it's not even that good. I'm from New York, but I don't really have that good of a New York accent. But whenever I do, my players know. They're like, oh boy. Like I have this janitor named Sal, you know, and he's like, hey, great. Sal. And it's just, you know, like those kinds of like, and it's always like the one like random NPC, and I'll always give them like the New York accent, and that's when they know that something's going down, or you know, what's with this guy. So that's just another like a fun little quirk, so that you can sometimes build into your world.
Yeah,
the one accent.
I like that. Yeah.
I like adding a chaos gremlin. I love a little chaos gremlin, like relatively harmless. The one from No Latency that I'm gonna pull out is 9. He's just this little AI ball. He has no hands. He can float, and he's like a pretty good hacker, I guess. He never gets used for that. He's just there to just be silly, and fly around and smash stuff by accident and get thrown down the stairs and be like, okay. Like he's just there to be silly, and I very occasionally make him useful, and the player's like, oh, you do the stuff. We never ask you to do anything because you're very annoying. But he's so much fun to just like that's when me as the GM, I get to play the younger brother of everyone. Hey, have you got games on your phone? Poke. Hey, can you play with me? Let's do fun things. Like it's fun to just be the little chaos gremlin to sort of, especially if you just want them to all leave.
Oh, that's good. Yeah, that's good.
He's here. If you don't want him to be around, he can't leave. So you should.
Yeah, I like that. You got any quirky ones, Tracy?
I also had this guy. Oh my gosh, I had a guy who was at that my in my Vampire the Masquerade game. He was. They were trying, like my players were trying to find somebody. They're vampires to feed on, and they were trying to pick up a guy on the side of the road, and they were in like a kind of seedy area, a not so great area. I had this one guy who they tried to pick up, and I did this like little like dance. I was like, "Hey, you're trying to pick me up," and it was like this thing. He was like a like kind of just like a very it's like a floozy male guy, and he just became a regular, like that they saw all the time. Now it was just this guy who was like very I don't even know how to describe him, but it was just so fun.
A free spirit.
So funny. Free spirit. That's a good word.
Yeah, those are the best.
This free spirit kind of guy. And every time he came on the camera, I would do a little dance as him, and they knew that this was their favorite guy. Didn't give him a name. That he still doesn't have a name. So
amazing. I love that.
That's great.
Mysterious.
He's just
I love a mysterious NPC.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Especially one that you're like, hey, the reason if you throw a mysterious NPC and you as the GM know that he is a huge part of the story, but he basically is inert and not threatening, you just make him a guy. The prime example is anybody played Control?
No, but I know of it. I know it's one. It's on my list.
In Control, there is a janitor, and every now and again you'll just turn around a corner and he's just sitting there humming and mopping the floor. All the while you've just come from a room full of horrors and people have been screaming and you've trying not to die. And he's just being like, oh, here you are. It's nice to see you. You'll be safe. Just go this way. And you're like, how are you alive? And at one point, in order to get through an area, you have to find him to borrow his Walkman so you can listen to a tape of Scandinavian rock music so that lets you float through an area.
Ooh.
But you don't know that at the beginning of the game. At the beginning of the game, you turn a corner and there he is at the end of a hot corridor with a big old spotlight on him. You've just had to defend yourself after all this stuff, and then there's this beautiful moment of stillness. You turn the corner. What a great thing to do to your players. You turn a corner after combating all of these things, and there's a man in a suit wearing a tie.
Mm-hmm.
He's got his hands in his pockets and he has a calm expression.
Ooh.
What do you do?
I mean,
that sudden juxtaposition from combat to what is this? Is a really great way to keep your players ignited at the table. Go from combat to mystery to role play to a little downtime to try not to do the same thing 2 times in a row, and do the same with your NPCs. Don't have the same NPC in a row unless that's the whole point, like a mysterious NPC.
Yeah. I like that. Yeah. My funny, quirky NPCs are usually the ones that like they party with. The players party with like a group of people, like, and then there's the one NPC that's just like crazy, like doing drugs, drinking, dancing. Hey, what's up, guys? How you been? You know what I mean?
Kind of like my guy, my free spirit guy. He's always jumping, walking up to the dance.
Like, why are you so happy? This world sucks.
Yeah.
Like, why are you so happy? You know what I mean?
It sounds like that NPC has a resist torture drugs of like 17.
Yeah, exactly.
So.
Yeah. And they always have bad advice. Like, take these crystals, put this black crystal. If you put in your pocket, your enemies will it like makes your enemies go away. That I'm telling you. If you put it in your back pocket, it brings enemies. And it's like, what are you talking about, dude?
But don't put it near your butt.
Yeah.
We love a little quirky NPC.
Yeah,
That's
yeah.
my favorite.
But then the players, like, you do that and you're like, all right, this is a throwaway NPC. And then the players are like, oh, are we going to see that NPC again? When
Yep.
we, it's like,
Always say yes.
you
Yes,
are now.
Ant-Man. Yeah, you are now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Every time.
Yeah. Actually, when you're walking in, they're getting thrown out of the club. Do you help?
yeah.
Do you help them?
And they will, you know.
Yeah. It's like this guy. He's with you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Any old NPC, always write it down. Write it down if they liked him.
Yeah.
If they liked her, if they liked it.
Yeah. It's a gift. It's a gift. Like,
It's a
put
gift.
your ego to the side. Whatever youth plans you had,
Right.
like, the players are giving it to you. They're letting you know, like,
Yes.
we mess with this guy.
Yes, exactly. Yeah.
Yeah. That's cool.
Integrate them into the next adventure.
That's it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
And I appreciate integrating you guys into my podcast and for you guys coming on.
Yay.
Yay!
Yeah.
Yeah, this was good.
Yeah, that was a lot of fun. I really appreciate
Yeah.
both of your insight. You guys have so much great experience and so much good insight into tabletop gaming that after this video, if you don't know how to make memorable NPCs, then I don't know what to tell you, my friend. Because we got it all. We covered all the bases. But
Yeah.
if there's anything we missed, make sure you guys throw it in the comments. Let us know if there's anything that you can suggest. I'd love to read it. And make sure you guys go and support these two amazing creators. I'm going to give you guys the floor to go ahead and, plug your things and let us know what's coming up. Tracy.
Yes. Hi, everybody. I'm Tracy, MissMagitek. You can find me at MagiRPG. That is where I run most of my tabletop stuff with my friends. We do all sorts of TTRPGs. My big thing over there is World of Darkness. So Vampire the Masquerade, Werewolf the Apocalypse, Hunter the Reckoning. Those are what I mostly run. But I also do lots of other things. Cyberpunk Red is my other big one. We are on a bit of a pause right now for a couple of our games, but it's kind of a summer break. And then we'll be bringing things back up probably in the fall. And then the other place you can find me is No Latency. But I will let our very own Binary Dragon do the plugging for No Latency.
Yeah. Oh, before we move on to that, I'd just like to say, also, it's like you kind of have like a network going on over there. You got a group of people, Tracy.
Yes.
They're all doing different games. They're doing,
Yes.
Wrath and Glory. They're doing
Yes.
all kinds of stuff. Now you guys are talking about Warhammer. You guys got like a Warhammer show starting with the Lion, the first Primarch.
Yes.
Starting from one. I love it.
Yeah.
And
It's great.
The occasional one shot has been really fun to watch on Magic RPG. I've been having a great time.
It's great when you have a bunch of friends who also are like super passionate about tabletop stuff, because then you just like, it started where like either myself or just like one person would be GMing, and now a bunch of people are like, hey, I want to try GMing something. Like we have fortunate like Scum and Villainy and Blaze in the Dark. We have one person who's like, that's their thing. Now we have Wrath and Glory, or our one friend, that's his thing. Vampire is my thing. But like we all just like play a bunch of games, so it's really nice.
Yeah, it's like a network of tabletop gaming and talking tabletop stuff, and it shows from all the great insight that you have that you're gaming, dude. You're gaming.
Yeah, gaming. A lot of tabletop gaming.
Yeah,
So,
every week.
I love it. Yeah. Go ahead, Paris. Tell us about what you're doing.
I run No Latency, which is part of the Radio Roll network, which I don't really talk about very often, but we have 3 podcasts on Radio Roll. We've got No Latency, of course, System Switch, and now Save the D8, which is part of our network. But yeah, No Latency is a Cyberpunk Red roleplay podcast. It's an actual play that you can listen to. Episodes are anything from about 45 minutes to an hour. We've been running since March of 2021, and we release a new episode every single Wednesday. You can join our amazing Discord and chat to other people. We've got people in there playing games. You can check out our social media where I post little clips and fun little trailers for the show. But you can also just check out the show, and you can download all the maps that we use to play, which I make all myself, on our Patreon as part of that offering.
Yeah.
There's a lot that you can absorb Cyberpunk-wise when it comes to no latency, and we love chatting about the tabletop game itself. So come chat with us.
So many episodes, like so much backlog, Patreon stuff, like artwork.
It's easy to absorb. You know, if you're unsure where to start, I always say go with a side quest.
Yeah, it's nice with no latency, as it's the episodes are, like Paris said, 45 minutes to an hour. It's kind of easily digestible because, you know, some actual plays can be several hours per episode, so that is not always as easy to sit down and listen to. So it's nice to have, even though it's like a lot of episodes, it's like, hey, I can listen to a couple of episodes and kind of go at my own pace. So it's very nice.
I know that if you're at home and you want to watch a nice long play, put it on the background. That could be really, really fun. With our show, there is one easy pause point in the middle of every episode where you can stop listening and come back later. And I think that that's one of the things that makes our show really fun to listen to, is you can absorb it at a personal pace. It's there for you.
Yeah, my favorite thing about your show is the amazing production quality, the sound effects, the voices. It sounds like an audio drama. And I've seen Paris's setup. I've been in that exact room that he's in. And the guy is like a nerd when it comes to audio stuff, like left and right channel, like panning, like everything.
Listen to our show in stereo.
Put on headphones.
Is a treat. It moves around. Yeah, I do a lot of
When people are there, they're talking over there. When people are here, you know what I mean?
Bullets fly across the sound field, and things explode, and noises and stuff.
It's really
happen.
cool. It's a very fun, immersive experience. And I've been a guest. Tracy's been a guest on the show as well.
Tracy's a player.
Yeah, she's a player. She's a guest and a player.
We started as a guest together, John and I, on No Latency. So
you were both on the first side quest of
That's
No
right.
Latency. Both of you on Duck Uncover. So because Retro wanted his duck back.
And hey, look at us now. We're still here.
But I'm always down. If you find me on the internet, like, I love talking about Cyberpunk. If you want to talk about Cyberpunk, come chat with me, Tunes, because I'm down for that shit.
Yeah. All right, guys. Once again, thank you so much for coming on the podcast, talking memorable NPCs with us, and we appreciate everything you do. And don't be strangers. We'll see you guys again.
Thank you very much, John.
Love you guys.
Thanks, John.
Bye.